Hello and welcome to this 12th edition of the Vendée Mag. We'll look back at Sébastien Simon's finish as the local skipper clinches third place. Our expert this week is Hubert Lemonnier, race manager of the 10th Vendée Globe. And finally, Inside will accompany the Charlie Dalin media tour of Parisian radio and TV studios. "67 days, 12 hours, 25 minutes and 35 seconds. Sébastien Simon's ordeal is finally over."
Finish for Groupe Dubré. Well done, Sébastien.
The skipper and Groupe Dubriel crossed the finish line at 1:17 a.m. on the 17th of January. Crowds of people turned out to give the local hero the welcome he richly deserved for his third place. Having lost his starboard foil on the 8th of December, the sailors from Vendée showed great mental fortitude in battling on despite the setbacks.
I did indeed suffer other damage. I lost the keel fairing in the middle of the Pacific. That can have a dramatic impact as it can cause pressure to build in the keel box and consequently water ingress. We kept that quiet. In the deep low in the Indian Ocean, a fuel tank emptied into 4 of my 6 food bags and contaminated the food. I managed to retrieve the diesel and put it back into the tank. It's always a blow to the morale when your diet's affected, of course, but I entered the Vendée Globe looking for tough moments like that. So on that score, it hasn't disappointed.
Je pense qu'il a tenu toutes ses promesses.
Nothing in the world would make me swap my place, or my race, either. I'll be back in 4 years with even more ambitious goals. I dreamed of finishing a Vendée Globe, and now my ultimate dream is to win it.
Simon's finish left 31 sailors still at sea, and the front-runners Jeremy Bayou and Sam Goodchild battling for 4th place.
Up for the mast, it's moving a lot. We've got Jeremy Bayou over there.
They approached yet another violent storm that was due to reach the Azores in the coming hours.
It's worrying because we're talking about a sea state of 8 metres or more. I reckon the wave period might be quite long, and it should be offset a bit, so we'll have to avoid getting swept up in it.
7,000 miles away, the 3 backmarkers Manuel Cousin, Fabrice Amadeo and Dennis van Weenberg were still in the Pacific and yet to round Cape Horn. They were also preparing to tackle a highly unstable low-pressure system.
It's strange. Sometimes there's a big area of light air, then nothing at all. Sometimes there's a headwind. It depends on the data, so I'm analysing all that. It's 4 or 5 days off, so I hope it'll change to a better direction.
Further north, the fleet continued to sail up the South Atlantic, along the Brazilian coast. Here too, fatigue was beginning to take its toll on both sailors and equipment.
This is the part that was broken. I climbed to the top of the mast to get it from the halyards that won't be used as much and refitted it here. So I've redone the loop.
Wise old Jean Le Cam fixed his J2 stay, the cable that secures his mast.
You see, you should never give up hope. Even in difficult times, you should channel the energy from despair to bounce back. Push towards new horizons. As they say, the sunshine after the rain.
But while he was working on his repairs, the rest of his group escaped, led by Roman Atanasio.
I wanted to head north because I felt the wind was coming more from that direction. At some point I managed to pick up a little breeze, and so I got away. I stayed on a northward tack to cross the front a little higher, where it seemed to be a bit easier, where the wind seemed to have a better angle coming out. Well, that's what I did, and it seems to have paid off.
The 14th Best Western skipper crossed the equator and managed to break clear.
It's down here. There. In fact, the doldrums caught up with me at Fernando de Noronha. Unlucky. If I'd got through earlier, it'd have been okay. I reckon Roman will be all right. But for me and my little group, it won't be that good. So I'm preparing to be motionless for hours on end. Patience. Not easy.
1,000 miles further north, Samantha Davies was sailing at the back of the leading group when a mainsail block worked loose and crashed into her cockpit.
I need to mend and seal that. I've got the Sikaflex out and have slowed down. Luckily, it's not affected the structure, but I've got some work on to stop the leak before setting off again. There are lots of splinters, lots of dust, so it won't be a very nice job to do.
Just ahead of Davies, Boris Herman found a hidden talent as a balancing act. He managed to secure the port foil damaged last week, but saw his direct rivals, Benjamin Dutroux, Clarisse Kremer and Samantha Davies, get away from him. The German skipper dropped from 10th to 14th place. Paul Meyer on biotherm finally managed to fix his forestay, but will have to cover the last 2,000 miles without a J2.
So, here's my new forestay. I'm now better equipped to tackle those final areas of low pressure.
De la fin.
On Monday the 20th of January, the leading skippers chose to head straight to Le Sable by the east of the Azores. Jeremy Bayou on Charal was the first to plunge into the eye of the storm.
There are mountains of waves.
Oh putain.
I'm avoiding too much speed in the waves or we'll have trouble in the troughs. We can't take any more.
The battle for fourth place was over for Sam Goodchild, whose mainsail tore in the worst possible conditions.
And there's maybe repairs possible, but there's a bit too much wind at the moment. We've still got 35 knots. So I've got two jibs out and I'm trying to get east to get out of the northerly winds that are coming. And maybe try and attempt to repair. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean the Vendée Globe's over, but it's definitely not going to be the same end to the race as I hoped. Going to damage limitation now and just try and get the boat home in one piece.
At a very low speed, the skipper of Vulnerable raced against the clock.
Not exactly easy, but we're trying to do the best we can and lose as little time as possible. But also do something which doesn't have to be done twice.
Hello, Sam. Here's a quick video to send you strength and energy and to let you know I'm thinking of you. This kind of damage is tough to cope with. And the end of the race was going so well for you. But it's not over yet. You're not far from the finish now. I'm confident you'll find exactly what it takes to keep pushing forward as quickly as possible to Les Sables d'Olonne.
La solution pour continuer à avancer au plus vite vers les Sables d'Olonne.
Goodchild's damage gave his rivals Paul Meyer and Nicholas Lundven an edge. If they timed things well, the two sailors could ride the low-pressure system set to hit the west of Portugal in the coming hours.
I'm not sure about the wind speed. I'm using backup aerials and the calibration might be off. I think with a steady 35 to 40 knot wind. I'll show you the sea. Never seen anything like it. The weather's great, though I'm not sure because you can see the sea. I preferred last night when it was darker and less scary. But what a sight.
Thomas Ruyant continued to endure the streak of misfortune that began in the Indian Ocean. Unable to catch up with the ridge and tag onto the leading group, he remained in 9th position.
I think this morning it's definitely not going to happen. We'll keep pushing for a good route until the end. No giving up. But it won't be easy.
Perhaps a stroke of luck in his misfortune. Just 300 miles behind, Guyot Environment, skippered by Benjamin Duteau, was now stuck in a huge windless area.
When you're flying along, you're stuck inside, trimming and so on, and you can't see what's going on outside. And you moan that you don't get to spend time enjoying the sea and the outdoors. A sailor's personality disorder or impatience, it's hard to tell. In any case, it's good to have a breather. This might be one of my last peaceful moments, because there's a bunch of low-pressure systems coming in. Looks like one after the other. Not sure we'll get another calm stretch like this, with such easy-going seas.
Je suis pas sûr qu'on ait de nouvelles phases de molle comme ça avec une mer qui soit aussi cool en tout cas.
So there we go, safe and sound, back on board, and it was good to do actually, because I had sort of mind games going on in my head, because I thought that I had heard something stuck to the hull a couple of days ago, and I couldn't see it on my keel camera, and so I wanted to go and make sure that there was nothing stuck on the boat, dragging along behind me, slowing me down even more than my currently pitiful 4.3 knots of boat speed.
That's done. We've crossed the equator for the second time in this Vendée Globe, this time from south to north, re-entering the North Atlantic. Groupe Abyssal is still struggling with light air in this intertropical convergence zone. We're hoping for more wind tomorrow to head north to the Azores and Europe. Oh, my friends, I'm stuck in 3 knots of wind, in total darkness, and in the middle of nowhere. And to top it off, there's a fishing boat right here. I've just called him, but I think he only speaks Portuguese, so I didn't catch everything. Normally, he'll pass behind me. I see his green light, so it's fine. He can see mine too, so it's all good.
As the small group of sailors advanced steadily through the doldrums, Jean Le Cam and Alain Roura opted for a more easterly route.
We found wind and we're on the attack. Fantastic. I feel like I'm getting closer to the finish line. I'm going to be stuck in a windless zone again. Today's a good day. I'm going fast. I feel good, but it's hot, over 30 degrees, and I'm naked on board. I apologise. I'm happy, though, to have covered a long distance today. That's all for now. Ciao.
The closer the 60-footers got to the finish line, the more impatient their skippers became.
I'm lost. I barely know my name at the moment. I know that lately I'm just focused on crossing the finish line. Got to get there, haven't I? I'm finding it a bit harder to enjoy life on board because I keep thinking about seeing everyone again, and as soon as that thought hits, there are a few people I miss, one little person in particular. Come on, we're on the right track.
Staying focused and keeping a cool head is crucial for this final sprint. The hardest challenge might still be ahead, with a powerful low system. It's all about reaching port fast and, above all, safe and sound. We are on the pontoon at Le Sable de la Marina, where the Vendée Globe skippers moor their boats. I'm about to meet our expert this week, Hubert Lemonnier, the race manager for the 10th Vendée Globe. Hi, Hubert. How are you?
Fine, and you?
Great, thanks. Bit by bit, the pontoons are filling up with beautiful boats each week. As the race manager, does that mean that the pressure is easing off week after week, or not?
We're thrilled to welcome the fast finishing around the world boats already here. It's a fantastic achievement. However, the pressure remains high because there are many boats still at sea and they're navigating complex weather systems en route to Les Sables d'Olonne.
As you say, many boats are still at sea, facing challenging weather conditions that have offered no reprieve from start to finish.
That's almost the case, since the top three had great weather at the start and the finish, for the most part in between as well. But they were luckier than the others, but next week's weather looks challenging. There's some rough weather coming our way, some big lows as well, as you might expect at this time of year in the Bay of Biscay.
For the race management, what does a complex weather system imply?
We're closely tracking successive lows moving west to east, with intensifying systems and secondary interactions that may amplify the winds and seas. We've got safety measures in place too, with boats arriving in Les Sables d'Olonne after 70 tough days at sea. Well, this year we've added a bad weather gate, so that will finish the race slightly offshore to prevent boats from heading directly to the beach.
An early, slightly advanced finish line there.
Yes, we introduced that in 2024. It's actually part of the course and compulsory for all racers. They have to sail through this gate. If weather conditions make sailing to the historic finish line unsafe, well, this will serve as an alternative finish line. After crossing, boats have time and space to manoeuvre safely and head back out to sea. That means they avoid the immediate danger of rocks or the coastline.
Let's return to Charlie Dallin's amazing win in 64 days. 10 days less than Armel Leclerc's record set in 2016. What do you think of this? What is your analysis?
Yes, it's crazy. It was so fast, even for us. Our heads have been spinning since the 10th of November. We knew records might be broken, but to have it go so well, it's the kind of success that might take an awful long time to repeat. It's amazing how, when everything aligns, all the preparation, commitment, the skill and readiness of the skippers, the boats and the technical teams, well, it proves how fast you can go. This time it all came together perfectly. We've heard the skippers say they were exceptionally well prepared and that they had favourable weather conditions that helped to break records. This achievement really reflects the dedication and the hard work of everybody involved. Really, it showcases the strength of the entire ocean racing ecosystem.
There are great boats and sailors, but after seeing Seb Simon's damage, it takes a true warrior to finish around the world in such a short time, or even attempt it.
Yes, it's easy to overlook the whole process involved in getting here once the boats cross the finish line and the results are in. Watching the videos again when Charlie climbs the mast, positions himself ahead of the storm near the Kerguelens, and then he pushes on, well, that was a close call, a tense moment for race management. It was hit or miss, and not really what you want to see from the safety point of view. Heading into low-pressure systems like that shouldn't become the norm to win the Vendée Globe. If all goes well, of course it's fine. But if there's damage to the rudder or keel or similar, maybe if you're caught by the storm behind you, well, then it can be another story. You're all alone at a place like that. So, bravo, yeah, they did it, and they did it well. But we are wary of this type of weather system.
There are lots of skippers at sea. Got anything to say to them?
I'm really pleased with how they sailed, and I'm proud. We'll soon have all the boats in either the South or the North Atlantic, which is good news. Let's hope that the good seamanship continues, because the hardest bit can often be the finish. The North Atlantic, at this time of year, when you think about it, it can be just as challenging as the southern 40s. So watch out for the northern 40s. We're fully mobilised and we're available whenever they need us. We're there till the end, as usual.
Thanks, Hubert. Now, in our inside report, we'd like to immerse you for 24 hours in the life of a skipper. Charlie Dalin is on a media tour of Paris with his press officer Marie-Astrid Gauthier.
Inside.
Ça va être à lui?
Ouais. Bonjour.
Félicitations.
Merci.
Merci de nous rejoindre.
Avec plaisir. Merci de m'accueillir ce matin.
Dans un instant, l'invité de Lénaïque Monnier dans Europa Matin Week-end sera Charlie Dalin.
Est-ce que quelques jours après votre arrivée, vous réalisez un petit peu la mesure de votre exploit?
Ouais, un petit peu. C'est vrai que voilà, ce chiffre, il me donne un peu le tournis, même à moi. Je savais que les bateaux étaient capables de tourner autour de la planète en moins de 70 jours. Et voilà, d'atteindre cet objectif, c'était vraiment génial. Et ça va encore continuer à progresser. Voilà, la génération 2000 du Vendée Globe 2028 sera encore meilleure que la génération 2024.
Merci beaucoup.
Avec plaisir.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci, bon courage à vous. Oh, je vais c'est ça. On passe en combien de temps?
Je crois que c'est dans 12 minutes, ça m'aide.
Tiens, je vais t'endormir.
Ouais.
Bonjour à tous. Combien ça va aller? Putain, je suis désolé. Ah, d'accord.
Il était temps qu'il se réveille, de toute façon.
Ah, c'est bien.
Désolé.
Non, pas de problème, je vais faire quelques pompes.
Allez. Bon réveil à tous ceux qui dormaient peut-être il y a quelques minutes d'ailleurs. C'est le cas de notre invité, je trahis un secret, je vais vous le révéler dans quelques instants. On est ensemble jusqu'à 10h, nous sommes dimanche 19 janvier. On accueille un invité de marque sur Sud Radio.
Alors là, on passe dans une zone.
Ça va là, les nuits, elles sont...
Ouais, je me réveille un peu en fin de nuit.
Ouais. Et balles de terre...
Non, balle de terre, zéro. Non, là, il y a 4 ans, j'avais eu un peu, je crois.
Ouais.
Mais non, là, zéro. Tout de suite...
Tout de suite dans le bain.
Tout de suite, ça bougeait plus.
Et c'est vrai que la première nuit, t'as ouvert ta fenêtre.
Ouais. Je me suis levé. J'ai ouvert en grand les rideaux, j'ai encore ouvert la fenêtre, là, qui faisait moins 2 degrés dehors.
Ouais.
Je suis resté, je crois, les mains sur les hanches devant la fenêtre. Et puis j'ai parlé de Johan. Et puis après, je suis retourné me coucher comme si de rien n'était. Perrine s'est levée et elle est tout fermée.
Super. 19h. Nous on y va tous les 4. On t'accueille chez RTL. On te lâche. On t'abandonne. Lâchement. Nous 3 on prend un taxi voiture pour aller chez France Télé. On t'attend chez France TV où toi tu montes sur ton mototaxi et tu nous rejoins chez France TV. On rentre tous les 4 pour Stade 2. 21h05, tu décroches le Stade 2 pour partir chez France Info. Donc là vous serez tous les deux.
Ah oui, on va chez France 24 aujourd'hui aussi.
Ouais.
Et RFI, émission spéciale.
En fait c'est dans la même rédaction. RFI c'est radio.
Ouais.
Donc tu fais ton plateau France 24.
Et après on fait RFI. Stade 2. Putain, c'est une belle journée encore. On n'a pas fait grand chose aujourd'hui encore en fait. De la journée.
Vas-y, son nom.
Tu auras fait combien de taxis? Je sais pas compter. Oh là là.
C'est pas la vraie vie.
Pour nous ce soir, on a la chance d'avoir Charlie, Alain, et je compte sur vous pour mettre de l'ambiance. Hein. Franchement, c'est un exploit.
Et le retour, voilà, ça va.
C'est pas un peu de passer...
Non, je suis un peu sur mon petit nuage, je continue à profiter. Ouais.
Bonsoir à toutes et à tous, bienvenue dans Stade 2. Bonsoir, on est très heureux d'être avec vous. Comme tous les dimanches soirs, on est parti pour un petit peu plus d'1 heure. On a un invité absolument génial.
Écoute, j'ai une petite question pour toi, puisque tu es dans Stade 2.
c'est de savoir si
Tu l'enlèves,
on rentrait dans les mers du Sud,
5,
et que j'étais à côté de toi,
4,
tu t'es dit que ça allait
3,
être compliqué d'aller gagner ce
2,
Vendée Globe. Allez, bonne émission, à ciao, bye bye.
Ce qui est sûr, c'est qu'il m'a surpris, Johan.
Salut Charlie.
Ça va? Ça va, mec? Merci pour ta question.
Depuis hier, on y réfléchit.
Tu veux savoir comment on en a chié,
Putain.
les gars?
Ah ouais, dans ces
On a un
trucs-là.
coup de pression là.